All right, and we're live. Welcome, everyone, to the 22nd episode of Sinister Sunday. I would like to welcome everyone to the United Rebel Alliance panel for this Sunday, that being Trez from Total Metal Rejection. Please go subscribe. Please go fucking binge watch all his videos when you got time. Excellent stuff. Excellent dude. And please also give a warm welcome to Atseg from Atseg's Abyss. Once again, excellent dude, excellent channel. Go subscribe. Go fucking pop some popcorn and binge his channel for me. These dudes have been with me from the beginning. I like to consider these guys the OG Rebellion. Now, tonight's episode, we're going to have a little bit of a switch around for the subjects because we want to pay honor to a fallen rebellion member. His name is Classy Lonnie from the Classy Lonnie Metal channel. He's had to step down from uploading videos and content creation for a bit due to moving residences and due to also some personal things that he has to take care of. So we want to talk a little bit about him and how we discovered his channel. Maybe talk a little bit about some of our favorite videos that he's done, and maybe some bands that we've discovered thanks to Classy Lonnie. Hope all goes well in the future with you, bud. And the United Rebel Alliance will welcome you back with open arms if and when you choose to return, because we all are looking forward to those unboxings. Alrighty, so with that being said, I'm going to crack a cold one open to our buddy and friend, Classy Lonnie. Cheers, bud. Trez, I guess, how did you first discover Classy Lonnie Metal? What were some of your favorite videos of his? And did you discover any new bands due to Classy Lonnie?
Oh wow, yeah. Classy Lonely Metal. Wow, that channel. Yeah, been watching that channel for a while. Discover new stuff. I'm still discovering stuff. Just looking back at some of his videos. It's just the knowledge that obviously that Classy that Lonnie has is just amazing. You know, I would never come up with those bands, even though I search YouTube all the time, and obviously some labels, but the bands that he shows is just like, where the hell did you find that band? So always taking notes. As far as there's too many bands to, I guess, to name that I discovered through him, because back before I even obviously had a channel, always followed obviously Brain Smasher, Patrick from Ground Zero Salem, um, Pete the Guttural Monk, obviously Infidel Amsterdam, all those guys, and Classy Lonely Metal. There's always been one of those channels that I've always watched amongst these other YouTubers as well, and just their knowledge, pretty much. That's how how before used to buy magazines and stuff like that, just to see what bands are coming up and stuff, or what's very obscure and that you wouldn't normally find, I guess. I would just go to YouTube, and Lonnie's channel, Classy Lonely Metal, has been one of those channels that I could always find something. And even going back to his videos now, it's just amazing every time he unpacks something, and you're like, what the hell is that? And you look it up, and right after the video, and it's freaking amazing. Like, wow, it's just crazy how much stuff. And if he needs help moving some of them boxes, man, I got a storage that you could put some of those CDs. But yeah, awesome. So yeah, cheers, Lonnie.
Cheers to Lonnie. Yeah, man, um, I think I discovered Lonnie after probably watching the a few Metalhead unboxings, but I'm not sure because at the time I only had been watching a few more obscure kind of channels. Like I'd be watching like Motley Crue Forever One, like one of the OG Rebel members, um, and um, I think back when I was actually subscribed to Widex Him, and besides those two, uh, I think the next one after um, like the big ones like Canyon Bickle, Count Blagroth, Runner JMA. Um, I think I ended up seeing his video mentioned in maybe a Count Blagroth video doing an unboxing, and I'm like, hey, this guy seems like a really generous dude, sending Count Blagroth some stuff for free, helping him out with some like rare items and stuff that he's never gotten before. So I'm like, man, this Lonnie guy seems pretty classy. I should probably go check out his channel. So yeah, I think it might have been because either A, the Metalhead unboxing videos, or even earlier than that, maybe um, like a care package to Count Blagareth. So I'm going to go with that one. I'm pretty sure I discovered him through Count Blagareth. But yeah, and as soon as I saw his videos and his channel, I knew instantly that it was some quality content. Just like me, he doesn't really do crazy edits. He doesn't do like a million jump cuts, the sentence filler. He just gets on there, shows you some sick ass bands, and then gets the fuck out again. Like that's the way to do it. Like you talk about what your passion is. You talk about some awesome metal or some like related bands like in the punk scene, because that was another thing too that I enjoyed about Classy Lonnie was that he wasn't afraid to show off unpopular kind of genres of metal. Like he would show off metalcore, he would show off some hardcore, he would show off deathcore quite a bit, and uh, in the kind of metal YouTube circles, metalcore and deathcore and stuff like that really aren't like the best way to get you some brownie points within the community, right? So I always applauded him for showing off something different and showing off stuff that wasn't your atypical black metal or death metal band that everyone else has been showing for the past week or a couple of weeks leading up to whatever, because that's kind of what I was seeing at the time. Was everyone was showing off pretty much the same kind of collection. Everyone was showing off the same kind of bands back in the day, be it like the Black Twilight Circle bands, or be it like the kind of atmospheric death metal bands that were out at the time, like Portal and fuck me, Astral Voice or whatever, or Triumph Foul, or fucking the new Leviathan that came out back in the day. And he was showing off like death metalcore, really unknown like brutal death metal bands, and like these kind of melodic death metal bands and atmospheric black metal that you'd never heard of before that no one else is showing. And it was like, yes, I have found a new favorite channel. And I can definitely tell you I've discovered so many new bands thanks to Classy Lonnie. So it is a huge shame that he's unable to continue his channel at the moment. He will definitely be missed until he hopefully one day makes a glorious return like the redneck metal Jesus that he is. So yeah, cheers to Classy Lonnie. Azeg, how did you discover Lonnie? What are some of your favorite videos from his, and did he introduce you to any new bands?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still fairly recent to his channel, to be honest with you. I was actually surfing around on eBay trying to find some black metal that I never heard of before. And I came across this seller that looked like super shady, and it was just like Butch's Metal or some shit like that. And didn't know what the hell it was. So I just went straight to YouTube and like typed in the seller. I was like, hey, this dude does grab bags. I want to see if anybody's done one of these bad boys. And sure as shit, I get this hillbilly popping up on the screen that's done a grab bag from Butch Enterprises there, and fucking loved it. I mean, actually, I was actually listening to one of the CDs from that grab bag today. Vorkuta, awesome band. But yeah, so he actually got me turned on to Metallic Media and a whole bunch of sellers that I buy from all the time now. And just his knowledge was phenomenal. So, I mean, those unboxings are out of this world for me for those grab bags. It could be the most rare shit in the world. And he's just like, oh, yeah, these guys are from, you know, there. And yeah, that's pretty cool. It came out in fucking 1901. And yeah, it's pretty sweet. And I'm like, how the fuck does he know that, man? It's like he's a walking metal archives or something. So, I mean, from then on, I was hooked and just had to check out every single video from there. But yeah, but those grab bags are definitely the reason I got into them for sure. No doubt.
Uh-oh. Did we lose him?
Yeah, my microphone cut off there for a second. But no, but definitely ever since then, though, he's been one of my go-to channels. And I can't say enough of how I just look up to, just like you said, he's just classy as hell. His videos are, you know, to the point and always enjoyable. And like I said, I find a new band almost every time I watch his damn channel. So my hat's definitely off to Lonnie, and hopefully he's able to make a comeback soon and fill the void that's now been left in there. So I'm going to have to start whoring Metal Archives some more.
Yeah. Yeah, now Metal Archives is going to go down. They're going to need a place to go look up bands now as well.
Yeah, there will definitely be a void that's going to be in all of us until he's able to possibly return one day. I'll miss him talking about how he got freezer burnt at work that day, and he'll take off his hat and see, look how fucking freezer burnt my head is. And just I don't know, I like his sense of humor. He's really down to earth, and he doesn't seem like one of those YouTubers that are just there for the views, just there for the popularity. He seems to when he has time, he seems to really enjoy what he does and really enjoy introducing people to new music and just being a good influence on the metal community in general. So yeah, it'll be hard trying to find another channel to watch instead for the time being, if I even find one.
For sure. I mean, even not just metal. I mean, he's just entertaining all the time. I mean, sometimes he'll pop a video up of like unboxing WWE figures, and I'm just like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna watch this. This is pretty awesome. So, just the variety on his channel is awesome too. So you can't beat that.
Yeah, exactly. That's once again just going back to how Classy Lonnie just doesn't give a fuck about brownie points with the metal community or what people think. He's going to post what he's passionate about, what he enjoys, and what makes him happy. And in turn, that makes for better content, and heartfelt content, because, you know, we're all adults now. Not everyone is into wrestling entertainment media. Don't you dare tell him it's fake. But yeah, it's really cool that he shows off his collectible figurines. I know if I had more like DC Comics or Marvel Comics figurines, I'd probably be pretty tempted to show them off, because my nerdiness knows no bounds. What can I say? But yeah, it's nice to see that he's willing to just show off whatever he's passionate about on his channel and make it his own. And we need more people like that out there who are willing to just be honest and be themselves on camera and not try to put up some sort of, you know, brutal or true cult front. And just, I don't know, I find that kind of content fake and a little a little kind of plastic, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, kudos to Lonnie for keeping it real.
Yeah. One thing I forgot to mention. I remember once I did a giveaway, which I've only done one giveaway, so it's only when I had 60 subscribers, I think, because I was like, I'm never gonna reach 100, so I might as well give a couple of stuff away that I had in my personal stuff, and also from the Metalhead box doubles that I did, and I already had picked the winners and stuff. And he commented on something like, "Oh, I think it was like, oh damn, I missed out, but hey, cool, hey, cheers," or you know. And I'm like, "Oh, that's such a cool comment." And my dumbass didn't realize it was him. So I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." And with my wife, I was like, let's send this dude something because his comment was really nice. He's like, "Oh, got here late for the giveaway, but for the next time or something like that." But he's really cool. So I sent him a package, and then I was watching one of his videos, and I see that he bust out the the stuff that I sent him. I'm like, oh my god, I'm such a dumbass. But yeah, really, really awesome dude. So yeah, definitely, whenever he can come back, we'll be waiting. I just hope he doesn't take his channel down. That like I made a little video that way we could go back and still take notes on a bunch of stuff that we missed out. So yeah, awesome.
True. I definitely hope if Lonnie's watching this, which I see you in the chat, bro. Thanks for joining the party. Hopefully you do keep your channel unarchived and leave it open so that we can maybe go back and binge some stuff that we haven't seen yet, maybe from like 2, 3, 4 years ago, just to fill that void. And if you do decide to no longer upload, just keep it there, because I know a bunch of us will want to go back and probably rewatch some episodes. I know for me that I'll probably go back and watch that that video of you trying out that super spicy devil's tongue popsicle or lollipop thing. That was a funny video. I remember him trying that that devil's tongue like lollipop thing, and he was like like almost convulsing and dying in the video. Like, just content like that is gold.
The devil's
I like people just but yeah, just hopefully, yeah. Okay, so he did say that he's going to be leaving the videos up, so that's awesome, man. Cheers for that. I know I'll probably be going back this week and next, and probably for the next few weeks, checking out some of the older videos and seeing what I missed. And like Trez and Azeg said, taking notes, learning how to be a cooler, more honest YouTuber. So that's all from us. How about Matt? Matt, do you watch Lonnie's channel? If so, how did you discover his channel? What are some of your favorite videos by him? And did you discover any new music thanks to Classy Lonnie?
Yep, I do. I don't remember exactly how I discovered him. I think someone had probably shouted him out through a channel. It might have been Kyle Blaggerith when Lonnie sent him that care package. If not him, I can't remember who shouted him out. But yeah, he was doing all that grab bag stuff. He was like the only YouTuber who really does like a lot of the grab bag stuff, because most people, I guess, they don't really have the knowledge that Lonnie does. Like, I'm not knocking anyone, because to have that much knowledge, like, it takes a lot of brain space to be able to know everything that he does. And so, with most people, they get a grab bag, like, they would probably like listen to it first and then make a video being like, I got this in a grab bag, I got these in a grab bag, this is what they sound like, you should definitely check them out, or not check them out. But Lonnie, he just straight, as soon as he got it, he'd get home from work, or if he had the day off or whatever, he'd just sit down and make the video and then feed us all of the information about every single band. And not just the band themselves, but the like who did the artwork, you know, a bunch of albums he would talk about who produced and engineered it. I think Jack said it, and then kind of you guys were touching on it a bit, like he's basically like the Metal Archives. Like I don't think I've gone to Metal Archives in a while. You know, it's just like I watch a video from him, and then he'll give such a good description of a band.
Yeah.
If I like it, you know, I'll buy it.
Yeah, you could cross-check Metal Archives with Lonnie's channel and see if it's
Yeah.
true or not. Like, wait a minute. Yeah.
I think Jax actually said that she thinks that Lonnie is one of the people who edits the Metal Archives, which, you know, given the amount of knowledge he has, that wouldn't be surprising if he actually was. And for the bands, you know, there's so many bands, you know, and record labels too. I know Southern Lord, I had never heard of them before. I'd listened to the record label, Southern Lord Records. Never heard of them before I'd watched Lonnie's channel. Comatose Music was one I'd heard before, but I never knew what they had done. And then same thing, you know, he gets a grab bag from or something from them, and you know, finds so many good bands through him. Another thing too, with the way that like Metalhead Box openings have gone. Like when Metalhead Box first started, a lot of people, when they opened it on their YouTube channel, it was basically how he did with grab bags. They would get it, they'd sit down in front of the camera, and they'd show it off without really looking, without knowing what's in it. And then once that evolved to where people decided that they wanted to actually familiarize themselves before they made the video, you know, he would talk about the CDs from the Metalhead Box, and there were a few that I would end up getting that are the same as him. And those were usually the ones I listened to first, at least if he said that they were good, you know, which most of the time he did. I don't really think that he doesn't really talk about anything negatively on his channel. You know, he wants to shine light on good music. And if he doesn't think it's good, he's not going to talk about it, which I think is good. You know, you don't want to waste your time on something that you don't think other people are going to like.
Yeah, don't be like me and spend an entire
But yeah, I mean, watching YouTube videos for me, it kind of goes like in and out. Like I'll watch like a lot of YouTube at once, and then I'll go like a week or a week and a half, whatever, where I won't watch YouTube. And then whenever I get back onto watching YouTube videos, it's like there are a few people and channels who take priority over everyone else. And Lonnie's is always very high up there because I've always liked the stuff that he's done. And, you know, also through him, not only have I discovered good music and record labels and stuff like that, I've also discovered a whole bunch of YouTubers. Like Trez, I know for a fact I discovered you through Lonnie. It might have been him showing off that stuff that you had first sent him, or it might have been he might have just shouted out your channel because he really liked your stuff. You know, you're the only one I can think of off the top of my head that I've discovered through him, but I'm sure there's a couple other YouTubers on my subscribers list where I've found out about them through him.
Yeah, that's you know, that's an awesome field of kind of cool, you know, that, you know, it was off of him and stuff, so that's fucking cool. That gives me some brownie points, definitely.
But yeah, Lonnie's just an overall cool dude. Sucks that he's going, but hopefully he can make the return after he gets all settled in. moving's a pain in the ass. Definitely don't want to rush that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Lonnie's still watching right now. So yeah, man. If you are still watching, Lonnie, just take your time. Don't rush it. If you don't want to come back, I'm sure we'll support you on that decision. If you do come back, we will all be here waiting for you with open arms.
Yeah, well, cheers.
Yep. Cheers.
Actually, that's actually another good topic there. Just quickly, what other channels have you discovered through Lonnie? Let's go over to Azeg. Azeg, have you discovered any channels or any specific bands due to Lonnie?
Channel wise, not really a whole lot. That is how actually I found Trez's channel originally, but it's really been just labels and distros that I've never heard of before, like Metallic Media and things like that, which open the doors to like 500 new bands in those grab bags. Like I said earlier, Vorkuta is one of those bands that he got in one of his grab bags that I absolutely am like bloodthirsty trying to hunt everything of theirs down now. But yeah, definitely Trez and, like I said, Metallic Media and some of those underground labels. But unfortunately, I haven't been open up to a whole lot of channels through him yet, though. But hopefully, if he makes his return, that'll change. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, cool. Actually, now that you say it, I think I've actually discovered a few labels thanks specifically to Lonnie, and some of them are actually ones that I probably should have known of anyways. I'm just a dumbass and just forgot to check into them. So like his grind state unboxings are ones that I'm just like, oh yeah, I should probably check more into grind state and check that out more. And that Red Nation or Red, fuck, I can't remember, but I'm obviously gonna have to watch another video of his unboxing. But the Red something label that he's getting the like metalcore and hardcore and deathcore stuff from sometimes. It's a pretty good label. So yeah, definitely discovered some labels through Lonnie.
Yeah. Yeah, like kind of like the amount of black metal, because getting a little bit more back into black metal, I guess. I thought, I know a little bit of black metal, but I watch his video, I'm like, what the? I'm like, I can't even pronounce that. Well, half of the shit I can't pronounce anyway, but the stuff that he will come out with, I'm like, what the fuck? And I'll look it up. I'm like, holy shit. And they've been around for a couple of years. I'm like, where the hell have I been? Because I'm like, wow. It's just his knowledge is like Matt, like you had mentioned. He would just right off the bat start, open something up and no details on it, who the artist was, and where do they record. I remember, I think he was talking about Don Suano. I forgot what it was that he was talking about, and I think it was from the Metalhead box. There's something that came out, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, "Oh wow, really awesome." So yeah, his tidbits and little knowledge on bands and the artwork and stuff like that. I was like, "Holy shit!" Normally I have to like look it up, like who the hell did this, and find out a little bit more about it. But right off the bat, he would just pop something out and just show it and say, and talk about it like he had obviously he knows of it. So I'm like, holy shit. That's why I watch his channel for, just to take notes and then go after I watch the video, just go to YouTube and watch every single band that he posts.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, actually just commented what that label was. It's called Red Stream. And yeah, Red Stream has a lot of great kind of unheard of artists on it. So if you're into that kind of, metalcore, deathcore, hardcore, and like random ass other genres, definitely check out Red Stream. thank you, Classy Lonnie, for throwing that in the live chat for us, because clearly my pea brain can't hold that kind of information like the mighty Lonnies can. So there we go. So I think we've covered pretty much every basis here. Is there any final words do you want to leave for him before we switch over to the new topic?
Yeah, obviously, you know, like I mentioned in the video that I made. Obviously, hopefully this is not a farewell, because obviously, um, you know, I hope you know everything goes good with, you know, you moving to the town that's next to you, and everything you're doing for your family, because obviously family comes first before anything. But that's one thing. Just always been a cool dude. Always never heard you talking bad about anybody, as far as I could tell. I'm gonna watch those videos again, but as far as I could tell, never. So yeah, always cool and knowledgeable as always. So I'm still gonna be taking notes for a long time. Probably when you come back, I'll still be taking notes. So yeah, just yeah, awesome. Obviously, keep in touch. And so yeah, cheers, Lonnie, and stay classy like always. I know you will. So and thank you for showing everybody else how to be fucking classy. You know your pretty much ethics, I guess, for YouTube, and so yeah. So thank you for that. Cool.
Well said, Trez. As egg, any final words for Lonnie before we move on?
Yeah. I mean, I just say best of luck on the move and getting your family situated there, brother. You know, thanks for all the badass videos and just the professionalism and the knowledge that you've kind of shared with all of us over, you know, the last however long you've been doing it. It seems like I was pretty late to your channel, but I made sure to go back to the beginning and start watching my way through. So hopefully in the near future, we can hear you say things like absolutely fantastic release, like you always do. But yeah, cheers, brother. Go take care of what you got to take care of. And, you know, whether you come back or not, we're definitely still supporting you no matter what. So cheers.
Cheers, man.
Thanks for that.
Best of luck to you. Hope everything goes well for you. And many hails. Thanks for all the good music.
Hails indeed, and definitely thank you for all of the music that we would not have discovered otherwise, except for Classy Lonnie Metal. I look forward to, you know, just rummaging around and binging your, you know, 3 or 4 year archives that I haven't been watching. Thankfully, you've been doing this for a while, bud. So we've got a little bit to, you know, tide us over until you grace us again with more excellent content. You've always been a great source of new music knowledge, excellent unboxings, pardon me, and even more generous giveaways than I think I've seen any other metal channel do. So yeah, man, you've got a kind heart, and I hope life treats you respectively in your upcoming endeavors and your tribulations that you're going to have to be facing in the next few weeks. So cheers to Classy Lonnie. The rebellion smiles upon you, and here's to your potential return in the future. And if not, you did us all well. We've got lots to learn from Classy Lonnie Metal.
One more thing I forgot. Yeah, wherever you're putting your collection again, I have a storage place available. Want to send some stuff over there just to hold on to it, just in case. And also, wherever you're putting your collection, just put it like one of those little levels, and just check up on it every once in a while. Because I know you had a bad time with the floor. It was semi-sinking, so you had to take everything down. But yeah. But awesome, dude. Again. Cheers, and yeah, all the best for you, dude. So yeah, cheers.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that. Classy Lonnie is the only motherfucker whose collection was so
Yeah,
big that it started caving in the
that's a
floor of his
badass
room.
collection, man. That's pure heavy metal right there.
Yeah, forget 70,000 tons of metal on the boat. He had 70,000 tons of metal chilling in the back of his room. So
Yeah.
yeah. So cheers, Lonnie. Much respect. I don't know if there's too much more we could say, but good luck going forward, and we pray for your return one day. So that's as much as we can do for this section of the stream regarding Classy Lonnie. Hopefully, you all take note of how much we admire the man, and go subscribe, go take some time to check out why we all talk so highly of the man, and go binge watch these things. You'll thank yourself later, because he has a collection like no one else's. His collection is very unique, and his tastes aren't streamlined, they vary. So you might find that while checking out some of his collection and checking out the bands that he's talking about, that you might find your new favorite genre or subgenre while going through the Lonnie archive. So yeah, definitely go do yourself a favor and go subscribe and go check it out. So the next subject for tonight, we're going to be talking a little bit about how metal has kind of influenced our lives, and maybe talk a little bit about how our lives might have been different if it wasn't for metal being a daily kind of like a daily intake, and we're going to maybe talk about a little of our experiences, kind of evolving as we've been getting more into metal as we've been growing up. So yeah, Azeg, why don't you tell us a little about how your experiences with metal has kind of influenced your life, and maybe talk a little bit about how the metal has kind of directed it and shaped you as a person, whereas otherwise you might have been different without the metal.
Sure. I would definitely say the biggest thing is just in general, my entire, my personality traits and everything have been changed. I'm actually a super shy person. I don't like talking to groups. I hate speaking to people. Like telephones even make me nervous, things like that. Don't know why. Always has been that way. But for some reason, getting into metal when I did kind of forced me out of that comfort zone, and, got me to talking to people, to try to find new bands and going to shows, things like that. So it really did help me to develop the ability to communicate to people. And I mean, without that, I'd probably still be a hermit, never leaving the house, just chilling as a introvert until I'm old and gray. But yeah, it really has given me, the inspiration to seek other people out that are like-minded, things like that. I mean, that's translated through the military, becoming a better leader, and, to the current job that I work now, where I supervise 300 people. Being able to speak to them and to deal with the stress of that wouldn't be possible without, just heading out back. Sorry, Jesse, plug your ears, but like throwing on Raining Blood or something like that, and just listening to old school Slayer track and going back at it, getting back in the shop and, dealing with it. But yeah, just stress management, communication skills. I mean, I developed all that thanks to metal for sure, but I'm going to keep it kind of short because I got a screaming baby in the next room. So I'm going to jump off here, but I'll definitely be back here in a few minutes.
All right, man. And no worries. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
And as Egg pops off, I do want to say I know I kind of jokingly talk about how much I can't stand Slayer or different bands, be it Cradle of Filth or Dimmu Borgir or Kiss. There's a laundry list of bands that just kind of make my ears bleed, and not in the good way. But I want to say, look, if it makes you happy, if it's a band that you really enjoy, be it metal or not, if it makes you happy and it makes your day better, don't be afraid to say that you like it. Don't be afraid to listen to it because someone else might not enjoy it, because the next guy doesn't think it's cool enough, because your best friend doesn't like it. Like if you like, let's say Alice in Chains, and your best friend's like, "Fuck grunge, I can't stand grunge. Why do you dress in flannel and dye your hair blonde, try to look like Kurt Cobain and listen to grunge? That's some weak pushy shit." You look your friend dead in the eye and you tell him, "Fuck you," because that's what makes you happy, and it doesn't matter what he doesn't like. Even if they're your best friend, you like what you like, and you enjoy that shit, man. Don't care about what people think about what you listen to, because their ears aren't your ears, and it doesn't matter what they like. Music is to be enjoyed. Music is to be utilized in a manner that makes your life better and brings you happiness. So, like I said, I joke around about not liking Slayer. I joke around about not liking this and that band. But when it comes to my friends, and when it comes to the Rebellion, or anyone watching this, don't take it personally. It's just my tastes. It's just your friends' tastes. It's just your parents' tastes. You're allowed to like what you like, and you're allowed to listen to what makes you happy. So that's all I have to say about that. Now I'm going to leave it to Trez and Matt to talk about how metal has influenced their lives and how their lives might be different without the metal. I too got to go quickly, just check on the kids. They're kind of just chilling out in the room, watching some videos and stuff, and then I'll be right back. So take it away, Trez, and then when he's done, feel free, Matt. So I'll leave it in your capable hands, bro.
What did you do, Jesse? Let's see. Oh, metal has, I guess, shaped me, I guess. I don't know. It's like metal has this thing that we could all relate to, because I guess however you grew up and wherever you grew up, in every part of the world, metal has probably influenced you in a different way. Depends on how your household was, how it was growing up in school and everything. There was music for that. There was a feeling that you had, and metal is the only genre that I know that covers every single topic. So if you were having a bad day, you were having a good day, there was a music for that. If you're not feeling good, you're feeling sick, there's emotional, I guess, music that you could listen to that would get you through it. Or there's uplifting music like in hardcore that will get you up there again. There's music for everything, and metal has shaped me in that manner as well, because we have our highs and lows, and so has metal and their topics. That's why some of my favorite songs, let's say lyric wise, kind of like Maiden, Wasted Years. I love that song because, no matter how you look of things, you could be having a good moment now or having a shitty moment the next day, or this were the golden years, but just realize you still could be living in the golden years, regardless if you were in a better situation, but know that you will eventually get out of that situation, or you could better yourself to do that. So I always look upon that song, and that song always brings me up. It's like Azek, like how he mentioned at work. It's like when you go to the gym, you try to find certain music that will get you pumped, to get you hyped for certain things, and that's what I love about it. And not that much music, popular music, has that. Everything's feeling nice, and uh, which isn't true. Um, you have your shit days. You feel like shit. You feel like you want to burn the world. Sometimes guess what? There's music for that too. But um, at the same time, that dark music will actually sometimes uplift you. And so yeah, I definitely have a lot of that metal has shaped me in that sense, because I know more. I know how to control my emotions more if it, with metal, because I could just listen, turn something on, and it will calm me down or help me, get through it. So in that sense, yeah, metal has definitely shaped me up, and on a day-to-day basis, I'm not in the mood for this. I'm feeling like this. Let me put this on. So yeah, definitely. Metal is a thing that's always shaped me and continues to do so, and so yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's basically the same thing. When I firstly really started listening to music in general, I was basically only listening to two artists on repeat, whatever albums I had by Green Day and Avril Lavigne, which definitely makes me sound not as metal. But as Jesse was saying, I don't give a shit what people think about my taste in music. It's mine. If you don't like either of them, or pop or punk, whatever, then don't listen to it. It's not going to affect me. Um, but yeah, for the longest time,
Damn straight.
when I got my very first iPod, it was just my dad had loaded it up with like 30 or 40 different artists, and I was basically just exclusively listening to Green Day and Avril Lavigne. And then metal, basically, it made me branch out more. Because my dad's favorite band, well, probably his favorite band, is Iron Maiden. And so that's where my listening to metal really started. And then I started branching out into all the other genres of metal. And, it was particularly like the 80s. I wasn't alive, obviously, but like seeing pictures in my dad's vinyl collection and CD collection of how bands looked, like that really wanted me to kind of more express myself, despite the fact that I was only wearing black for a long time, but and still do. But listening to throwing more metal into the mix as opposed to just listening to two artists, it made me really want to express myself more as a person. It kind of opened me up a bit more, like it did with Azag, where I started to talk to people more. Um, and then another thing, which I think is a big thing, is it got me into the local Colorado scene, which supporting the local scene has always been important. But when I was mainly listening to like mainstream metal, like Iron Maiden, Metallica, Megadeth, um, I knew of like one local band, and that was it. And then as I got more underground, that was when I started finding Blood Incantation, Spectral Voice, The Feather and Bone, Veil of Nath, all these Denver bands that were just incredible. And, you know, some of them I didn't know were from Denver until after I'd started listening to them. But, you know, just supporting the local scene, whether I was subconsciously doing it or consciously doing it, you know, that has always been something that's important to me, because, you know, I want to do that at some point. Play shows in my local scene and eventually get big enough to tour around the country and then the world. But that's kind of the big thing, because not only did I discover the local scene, but it's got me more involved in it. You know, I like to post about shows, and I like to go to all the shows as much as possible, you know, because they're cheap too. It's not like buying an $80 ticket to see a band in an arena. You know, you pay $10 to get into a club, and then local bands and underground bands in general are pretty generous. You know, you get everything, shirts, CDs, vinyl, whatever. It's all cheaper than any band that would play in an arena. And I want to support them as much as I can. So I end up throwing more money at them than I probably should sometimes. But it's in the name of good music and the local scene. So that is that's never a bad thing.
Yeah. Also another thing that I think that I know Isaac probably you know, also Jesse and Matt, you too, that you know, metal has probably made me become more creative. Kind of like Isaac, I'm a social awkward fuck myself, so I don't really. Local friends that I have, I don't, you know, they bitch at me because I don't, you know, I don't get together as much with them as I would like, but something in me keeps me. I don't know. I'm just weird, but one thing that metal has done has I have found cool friends and the coolest dude like you guys and everybody else that you know that I've met in shows and stuff like that. Really down to earth people, and also becoming more creative, as in trying to pick up an instrument to actually make music. Unlike any other genres, I'm not saying this it's not difficult, but you know, actually playing an instrument. I know other genres do it as well, but um, as far as shaping me, has made me want to create stuff, has made me pretty much more creative in every sense, trying to mimic album arts, drawing them, or just trying to play, and being in a band, and you know, it also helps you socialize with other people. So yeah, that I definitely owe to metal. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. It definitely made me a lot more creative. You know, I've always been a writer, and I'd like to say I started writing songs before I was ever able to play an instrument or be in a band. I don't really think that's true. Just I'd rather say they were probably poems more than songs. But because when I was basically like constricting myself to an extent, only listening to Green Day and Avril Lavigne, you know, I was writing songs similar to what they sang about, because that's really all I knew. And then once started listening to metal, and particularly when I started listening to death metal, that was when the creative juices really started flowing for me, and I started writing about like death and murder and dismemberment and all this shit, you know. And I know if some people read that, they're going to be like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? And it's just like, at least I'm not doing that to someone, you know. Writing shit like that, you know, it gets the anger out, which is good, because there's so many other ways you could take like anger or just negative emotions in the wrong way. But if you take it, put it in a creative way, as metal has influenced me to do, you know, it can generally be pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. the metal has definitely been a source of like in a way to vent and kind of sink your emotions into something that isn't going to land you in jail or even, you know, at the you know, suicide watch at the hospital. Because when you're young and you're going through high school and you're like, I don't know, 13, 14, just some of the stresses that you go through with your peers and dealing with grades and dealing with your parents trying to really get their stranglehold on you. Because when the thing is, you know, you're trying to not really rebel against authority, but you're trying to find yourself at a young age, and you're trying to just do what you want to do and discover who you are. And you've got so many people in your life that are trying to tell you who you should be, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, who you shouldn't be. And when you've got that much pressure from all, you know, all sides coming at you, you get really pissed off, you get really just stressed out, and you feel all sorts of different just heightened emotions. And if you got an outlet like metal, it helps. If I remember when I was like really young, and when Life is Peachy came out by Korn, like I remember blasting the shit out of that when I got like pissed off at things that were going on in my life. Or, you know, blasting And Justice for All by Metallica, or fuck, what else? Probably the first Disturbed album, or even this band here, Black Sabbath. Like, if it wasn't for Black Sabbath, I probably wouldn't have got into a lot of the metal I did in general, just dark themed kind of spooky metal kind of music, right? And if it wasn't for metal, I mean, I was being raised Christian, so I probably would have, you know, had those beliefs and ended up being a very different person than I turned out today. Luckily, even though my mom was a Christian woman and raised in the Pentecostal church to have those beliefs, she still listened to stuff like Alice Cooper and Black Sabbath and AC/DC and things like that. So did my dad. You know, after my mom and dad split, my mom's boyfriend at the time also listened to kind of like old kind of hard rock and metal stuff. So luckily, I was able to, you know, discover that stuff at an early age, and kind of it allowed me to be more free thinking and not just accept what everyone else told me was the truth, not just kind of go along with what everyone else wanted for me in life, and kind of be my own person. It kind of made me realize that basically the opinions aren't facts, and that you're allowed to have your own opinions. You're allowed to believe what you want to believe, and that the unpopular belief or unpopular opinion isn't necessarily the wrong opinion or the wrong path to take. Because it might, just because something's not popular with someone else, or because that's not the popular belief with someone else, that doesn't mean that it's bad for you to have. It doesn't mean that you can't you know, seek out that path. And yeah, if it wasn't for metal, I would probably just be doing whatever my parents and peers said was the best thing to do, or best way to go about things. Yeah, it's definitely a very, it's definitely one of those genres that make you discover who you really are. It's one of those genres that kind of instills a you know, a rebel mindset, where it's like, I'm not just going to blatantly accept what everyone tells me. I'm not just going to adhere to the, you know, whatever religion my parents and peers are trying to get me to conform to. I'm not just going to follow what society wants. You know, society wants you to go to school, get a job, get married, have kids, get RRSVPs, get, you know, save up for your retirement, be a good, you know, pawn, you know, pay your taxes. Like, they want you to do these very just robotic soldier type ununique things, and you don't have to go through life like that. Like, if you don't have a car, that doesn't mean you're an unsuccessful person. If you don't have a, you know, 40,000 or I mean $500,000 house, that doesn't mean you're an unsuccessful person. If you don't have like an office job at a you know, at a corporation that pays, you know, 60K a year or 100K a year, that doesn't mean you're not a successful person. It's, you're allowed to choose the path in life that makes you the most happy. And that's what metal did for me. It allowed me to open up my eyes and realize that I don't have to do what everyone tells me that I should be doing.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I definitely agree with that. I mean, metal has taught me more about religion and how to be a good person to to my fellow human being than religion would ever do. Because, you know, also has taught me about different cultures. You know, because metal is, it's, everybody can enjoy it, and it's they can put their own input in it. So definitely has made me more aware about the world, and the state of the world and shit, and obviously the environment, and political too. I've learned more about politics from metal than than any than watching the news and any other bullshit. So yeah, that's it's blunt truth, and you know, um, sometimes it's very not, it's unfiltered, obviously not sugar coated. So I like that. Just when I want to ask a question, don't ask me with a question. Just tell me. You know, as far as religion and politics and as far as other human beings, you know, the way I treat other people is because I've learned from uh, not just metal, not just some cliche. You know, obviously you're a good person. Try. It's real hard not to murder anyone, um, but my morals come more from metal because metalheads are. It might not seem like that to a normal person that doesn't listen to metal, but they think we're all just, you know, they see us standing in line, waiting for a show, and they look at these fucking degenerates. But you know what? Sometimes we're the most fucking coolest, down to earth people, and we look the way we look. You know, it could be someone just an awful fucking dude, disgusting fucking human being, and he just looks normal and stuff like that. But um, that has metal has shown me a bunch of morals, that how to become a better person, as far as, you know, everything, religion, and just to, and socializing with other people, just because it's just blunt truth.
Yeah, for sure. The that's a good point, man. Like, metal has definitely taught me, just because someone looks different or weird doesn't mean they're a bad person. Some of the worst people are in positions of corporate power, be it government, be it your, you know, your local priest, be it you know, the guy in a $1,000 Armani suit that, you know, goes to the office every day, but then he has, you know, 5 or 6 affairs on his. He sleeps with underage women. He embezzles money from his company. He does, you know, off of hookers' asses on company time. He, you know, like just really scumbag people in a suit, people that, you know, who look good and look, you know, outstanding citizen wise, but they're just shady as fuck people. And then, like you said, you can go to a club with a bunch of metalheads wearing leather and spikes and maybe some corpse paint if it's the right type of show, and they're the most generous, most honest, most down to earth ever know, that would give you the shirt off their back if they thought you were down on your luck. They'd buy you, you know, maybe a meal if you were starving. They would give you a place to crash if you're homeless. You know, like, it just teaches you that just because society points a finger at these so-called delinquents or degenerates doesn't mean that's necessarily the truth.
Yeah, right. Yeah, totally. Totally. I mean, obviously, there's scumbag peoples in all walks of life, and obviously, but the image and obviously is portrayed is not what it's true. You know, there's like they just see as sometimes, especially when you're waiting for a show in the line, they look at you and walk next to you like, what the fuck? But um, it's just nuts. But you know, that's a different, I guess, stereotypical. You know, we have our bad apples in metal as well, but as far as morals, you should know how to be a good person, and metal has that as well. It's not all just about money and everything. Um, it shows you how to become a better person as a, you know, a man or a woman. It shows you how to be respectful, and you know, how to be a better person, and spiritually too, not just socially. So yeah, yeah, definitely to get the honest truth from metal, at least, you know, as far as the message.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny because I know a lot of people kind of shit on new metal and you know, Disturbed and that, but David Draymond, the vocalist for Disturbed, I saw this clip of him one time at a live concert, and he made a really nice kind of statement to the crowd. I'm paraphrasing, and I'm not going to word it as good as he did, but he said something like, "When you're here, it doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what sex you are. It doesn't matter what your orientation is. It doesn't matter what your religion is. If you're here in the crowd at this show, we're all brothers and sisters, and we all worship the same banner, and that's metal." So yeah, it's a very nice, welcoming, and all encompassing type of atmosphere when it comes to metal for the most part.
Yeah. This might go down a bit of a path. I'm gonna try to not make it like that though. But also in the metal scene, I've noticed that we are a lot more respectful of nice cat. Um,
Or he's just being a douche. I'm sorry.
you're all good, man. We're a lot more respectful of women. You know, if you go to a rave or an EDM concert, you know, people are constantly trying to just fucking drug women and rape them and do fucking whatever. And then, like, to bring up you talking about David Draymond actually made me bring this up because there was a concert clip on their North American tour that they did in January and February where he actually I think he stopped the band mid song and called out a couple people who were harassing a woman in the crowd in the mosh pit, and he was telling them how it's not cool and all. And I think he even invited her on stage too. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, I mean, yeah, we're all inclusive of everyone, you know. Well, fucking, if there's any shit going down, we try to fucking minimalize it, I guess. You know, try not to let it get any bigger. Try not to let it get physical or anything like that. You know, we try to take care of everyone as best we can.
Yeah, agreed. Actually, Todd Atkins in the said, in metal, if you get dropped in the pit, a bunch of people you don't even know will race to pick you up off the ground and make sure you don't get stomped. And that's true. Like in a place that's full of so much aggression and people trying to just let loose because of the stresses of the day, if someone gets hurt in the pit, they make sure they get picked up and, you know, not trampled. And that's good, because sometimes in a hive mind kind of reckless crowded area scenario, sometimes humans have the worst reactions. You have the worst kind of not my problem attitude. But the metal shows and punk shows, but when it comes to metal shows, you have this, we're all trying to get out of the frustration. We're all trying to get out some aggression, maybe some indirect violence. But if someone notices someone going down in the pit, they do automatically try to pick them up. Or if they do notice someone getting hurt, they do try to, like, you know, help them out of the situation or whatever. It's pretty great, because it's weird, because on one hand you got people who want to get rowdy and violent and just get their aggression out and, you know, just sometimes crowd kill. But on the other hand, if they see someone legitimately getting hurt or someone falling down, they're like, oh, well, we're going to help them out and like get them out of the pit or get them away from the whatever's going on, because it's yeah, it's a very interesting dichotomy, to say the least.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, you have your two extreme sides, I guess. You got your Chuck E. Cheese crowd that there's alcohol involved. There's alcohol involved in mosh pits as well sometimes. But difference between your well-dressed person that just goes to town in Chuck E. Cheese, you know, in a mosh pit, we try to help each other. You know, obviously there's hard-hitting people out there, but for the majority of the crowd, I say a good 95% of the crowd in there is looking out so that you don't get hurt. You know, metal is one thing to take out your aggression, and the mosh pit is the perfect arena for that. But we're all at the same time trying to keep it safe at the same time. Obviously, there's going to be blows in there, people flying everywhere, a face, what is it, a boot to the face, which I got one of the last shows I went to. But it's all unintentional, and everybody that drops down quickly to get back up, you know, we protect our women, you know, especially in the pit too. We're all like right there, you know. I've seen people that probably don't even know the women there, but they'll protect them, you know, from the pit or from anything else going on. So yeah, it's really awesome community, I guess. Yeah.
For sure, man. So I guess getting around to the kind of second point of how metal influenced our lives, just for shits and giggles, how do you think your life would be now if you were never introduced to metal?
Oh man, I guess that. Yeah, go ahead.
I think for me, to some extent, it would kind of remain the same, since my favorite band is Green Day, and I fell in love with music because of them, and I started playing music because of them. You know, I think in many aspects it would be the same, but like I said earlier, I probably would not really give a shit about the local scene. if it wasn't for metal. My collection, if you took out every metal CD in my collection, I'd probably only have like 50 CDs left. So, I mean, I definitely wouldn't have as much of a collection. I probably wouldn't have a YouTube channel. At least if I did, it wouldn't be in this form. Yeah, I think that's it. Like, I wouldn't want to go to as many concerts probably. I'd probably still be even more closed off than I am. But yeah, I think musically, like in terms of the instruments I play, it would stay the same. But I think just who I am now as a person and my collection and the concerts that I want to go to, that would obviously be, those would be the biggest things that would be different. I probably look different too, but who knows? This is kind of a hypothetical question because you can really only guess because we've made it this far with metal. So I guess that's my best guess, you know, a smaller collection. I wouldn't go to as many concerts. Probably wouldn't care as much about the local scene as I do. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I probably
This
wouldn't.
definitely wouldn't be a thing either. Like this live stream.
Yeah, that's one thing. We'll be making like
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of videos we've been making, Instagram videos or something. Like little I don't know, TikTok videos or some shit. But definitely wouldn't have a collection of music because I think everything would have been digital, or just I don't know. I don't know how it would be, but I don't think it would. I would have the respect for digital media if it wasn't for metal. I think I would have just downloaded everything. Um, would have been into rap because I do listen to rap every once in a while. Other types of music as well. Um, probably not have a beard or long hair, maybe. um, or maybe piercings. Piercings, I think that came with metal too, but who knows? But definitely the music would be totally different as far as collection goes. Definitely wouldn't have flags or anything like that. But um, as a person, you know how we have been talking about like how metal has got me a couple of morals and stuff like that. I don't know what kind of person I would be, to be honest. I don't know if I would have been like just a I don't know regular probably depressed dude. Not just saying that you know everybody that listens to metal is not depressed, but
Well, what did your parents want you to be, and what did your friends want you to be that weren't into metal?
oh Jesus, I definitely would have been dressing different. Definitely, yeah. I guess you're a kid that you will see in the mall, you know, back in the day, growing up, just going to parties and stuff like that. Which you know, I've gone to parties, but very different parties. As far as my parents, Jesus Christ, I probably would have been into Jesus Christ, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, my parents are. My mom especially, she's like a hardcore Christian and shit. But yeah, I guess I don't know. Maybe I would have been ranking millions. I probably would have been a pastor or something. You know, I would have had like a YouTube channel of being a pastor or something. But I don't know. Would have more money, a better car, if it was that. I don't know. Again, you know, it's very hypothetical, but music wise, I wouldn't care as much as music as I would have liked music, obviously, but not as much love for physical media as I do now. You know, wouldn't collect as much. Would have been an audiophile or whatever you call it. Um, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, true, man. If it had been for metal, uh, yeah, I'd probably still be going to church because of my mom's beliefs. I'd probably, I don't know. I know there was a period in my life where I was kind of like really big into Insane Clown Posse. So I don't know. I think I don't know if I discovered Insane Clown Posse because of friends that were into metal that also liked them for some reason. But I'm thinking that if I discovered Insane Clown Posse without metal being in my life and being somewhat Christian because of, you know, my mom's beliefs, I think I would have still maybe got the kind of rebellious attitude and being able to think for myself a bit too, because as much as people like to shit all over Insane Clown Posse, you know, they're very rebellious, they're very tongue-in-cheek, there's a lot of cursing and swearing and talking about killing people in their songs. So I think that would have, you know, altered my path a bit. I probably might have ended up maybe in a gang because of that. I probably would have started turning more towards like rap, because if Insane Clown Posse was the most extreme thing that I listened to back then instead of metal, I probably would have got more into like the rap scene. And then you know how that goes. If you're really into rap and you really kind of like idolize these people, they glorify like being, I don't know, like sort of like criminals basically in a lot of their songs. Not like every single rap group does that. I know each genre has different like to focus on, but like for the people that I was hanging around in high school and stuff like that, they tended to lean towards the rap groups that glorified criminalities and gangsta life and shit like that. So I probably would have leaned more towards that, and it probably wouldn't have turned out good for me. It probably would have turned my lust for being a rebel in a really negative way, and I probably would have ended up being in one of the local you know, one of the local gangs or something like that, because I'm the kind of person that when I get into something, like I don't just enjoy it, I like really, really get into it. Like if you've been following my channel for long enough, like you'll see that I've gone through waves of just like crazy obsessions over one specific genre for a long period of time. And like, and until that kind of loses interest with me, or until I kind of get bored of it because I've been like obsessing and listening to that one thing over and over again, it'll like, you know. But if that had have happened to me back then with rap and that kind of thing, I probably would have ended up being in either a local gang or trying to get money, and like in a really shady way. I probably would have ended up probably at being a womanizer, or some sort of like what's the word when men hate women? Misogynist. I probably would have been misogynistic. Probably would have been like with like ended up in some sort of gang. Probably would have been focused on getting like a really, you know, lit ride and focusing on cars and
Yeah.
and money, and just probably, you know, if it wasn't for the metal, I probably would have ended up going down a really self-destructive path. So That's what I think, and I definitely wouldn't have probably had a YouTube channel. Nothing with any sort of substance, that's for. But yeah, so I'm glad that I got into punk and metal when I did, instead of maybe going the Christian rapping gang route. Like I couldn't imagine what would happen if I wasn't into metal and
Oh
punk.
fuck! Can you imagine? It would be I think I would be like a fucking cult leader or something like that. Yeah, I think that would have been like yeah, something like that. Probably be like in a cult or something. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say because obviously, when you look at yourself now, you could, like anybody, besides a metalhead, you could just look at your self now and say, what could have if I wasn't interested in the stuff that I was interested, maybe a sport or stuff like that, the outdoors, or you weren't more into sports and stuff like that. What would I do? It's very hard to maybe say what would you do. But I guess as in metal, you have so many things that it covers. It's very hard to say. You only have the opposite to look at. So I don't know. I don't know. Probably like a serial killer on the road.
Yeah. Well, it's just, yeah. Well, that's just it, man. Right? Like, I know I have a very certain personality type where it's like, I think even without metal or punk, my personality type is I like dichotomy. I like extremes. I don't just like stuff. I obsess over stuff, and just like if I like something, I try to like suck it of all of its juices until there's nothing left, because that's how intense and how focused I am on one thing when I really, really enjoy it. So I'm thinking like, man, if I wasn't into metal, I'd probably, because my friends at the time were listening to like NWA, Ice Cube, Insane Clown Posse, Eminem. I'm like, fuck. I would probably, if I didn't have metal in my life, I would probably get really obsessed with that. I would probably be like mulling over the lyrics and the implications that those lyrics have so hard that I'd be tempted to like go down that hole and try it out myself, try to be a rap artist, probably try to, get women and fancy cars and just live that kind of life, because if like I would see my obsessive and to go to extremes, because like I said, that's just my personality type. So I'm glad that I ended up getting into punk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if I ever met my alternate universe doppelganger that went down that rabbit hole, I'd probably be in jail, because that's probably where they'd end up being.
Yeah, it would be interesting if you had like a doppelganger, and just to see how they turn out, just to go to the the other, what do you call it, multiverse or whatever, and just to take a peek in there and see what the hell happened. And I don't know, it would be interesting. It would be very interesting, but I wouldn't. I guess being a metalhead, I wouldn't obviously trade it, because obviously the music is fucking awesome, and um, the like I said, metal is covers everything, pretty much every topic. So yeah, um, I I don't know if I would appreciate music. I know that I would, but not as much as now, because you don't get that big feelings that you get from metals. I don't get that emotion. So I don't think I would have that connection with music. Obviously, I would like music, so there would be some sort of connection, but not that really deep connection, like as metalheads we do, like picking someone up from a crowd and protecting someone that you don't even know. Most people won't do that. if you walk outside, people, if you fall down, they want to help you up. I'm not saying there's not good people out there, but this, I guess, being a metalhead as a community, we see it, in our friends and when you go to shows and strangers that are metalheads. So I don't know. It's very hard and very. Um, it's a weird community because you don't. You're very on the fence of people because you know how people are. The way they see us, sometimes we know how they are. It's weird. They judge us on how we look, but we've seen how sometimes they are in real life. So it's very hard to accept that and think that we could be like that part, because we all know how we are as metalheads and how we treat each other, and we've seen how the other half treats each other. So it's kind of weird and scary just to think if you were just like them. Not saying that everybody that doesn't listen to metal is a it's a piece of crap or a scumbag, because they're not, but I believe that as metalheads, we're a tight knit community and we take care of each other. So it's hard to say. I would have been a good person or a bad person, or just be whatever.
I've definitely met a lot of good people through metal because I've been, like I said, in the live stream today. I'm sure live streams in the past, and then on countless videos on my channel. I like all types of music, and along with that, I've been to metal concerts, I've been to punk concerts, I've been to pop concerts, and obviously, if I'm going to a pop concert, I like the artist. I'm not going to see an artist that I don't like, but like everyone else there, like some of the best people that I've met at concerts are all at the metal shows. I think, like, for the most part, I think a lot of people that only listen to like pop or rap or whatever, some of them they only think about themselves and who they're with. If it's someone else, there's like, fuck those people. But yeah, as we talked about, if it's metal, if it's at a metal show, we care about everyone, whether we conversate with them between bands or before a show or after a show, or we're making sure people aren't stepping on them when we're helping them up on the pit. Most of the really cool people that I've met have been at metal shows or because of metal. I've never met someone that I've talked to long term because of a pop concert, and I've been to a few. I've been to a few because there are a fair amount of pop artists that I do like, but it's just like the people that go to them, at least in my eyes, they're so forgettable. You at a metal, you meet so many more different people that at least for me, I relate to them more than someone that would go to a pop concert.
Yeah, that is kind of true. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, I'm from New York, and one thing that I hate about it sometimes is that we're all guarded. We look at each other. Like, I'm the goofy one trying to, like, hey, I see another metalhead. I'm like, hey, what the fuck, and they just look at you. I'm like, oh man, come on. But if we find ourselves in the pit and I go down or he goes down, we're like best friends. Hey, what's up? Are you okay? Are you all right? We're grabbing each other's head and shit. So yeah, that's the one cool thing about it. Of course, we're not fucking immediate friends and stuff, but as far as a weird camaraderie and brother, once we're watching a show and shit, we might see a band that we have a connection with. As far as all music, every music has a connection, but
Yeah.
it's really more intense because maybe the music is intense, but you have that raw connection with a perfect stranger and shit. You will help a stranger up and lift them up, and so they could circle pit and sometimes hit you in the face, and you're all right with it. It's like, what the hell. So yeah, it's all in good fun. Someone might elbow you by accident, turn around like, "Oh, dude, I'm sorry." Your face is, falling off and all bloody, but you're cool, man. Don't worry about it. If it was someone else, it'd be like, bring it on. But yeah, yeah, cool stuff.
Another good example is it's kind of a joke because of the movie, but you know that whole deathgasm thing where it's like when life, yeah, when life sucks and you feel alone and empty, you stick on some metal and somehow life is better because you know that somebody else feels your pain and the rage you're going through. So yeah, it's kind of funny that that's a thing, but I agree, and it's a weird a weird thing that it happens with metal and metalheads. It's like you're you're probably all drawn there for a pretty similar reason, unlike people who listen to country or pop music or you know stuff like that. The very plastic kind of, it doesn't take much to enjoy type of music. But with metal, the the kind of stigmata and rebellious nature of it, people that are drawn to it normally are drawn to it for very similar reasons, and that's why you got a very like-minded, very community-like feel, and uh, not not hive mind, but mindset about it. A lot of people are coming from similar walks of life. They're just super stressed out. They've gone through a bunch of shit. They come from either broken homes. They come from just being an outcast, kind of maybe sitting alone by themselves at lunchtime during high school, maybe even eating their lunch, in the bathroom so that they're not getting harassed by the fucking, 6'5", 200-pound jock that likes to rough your shit up and take your lunch money or whatever the cliche thing is. But yeah, that a lot of these people are coming from similar struggles. We're all on the struggle bus together.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think the most obvious thing as of right now, if none of us listen to music, this live stream would be fucking happening. Probably would never have started either.
No, probably not. I mean, do you see like multiple I don't know, R&B or multiple pop channels banding together to talk about their love and interest for the music? I haven't seen any. I've never seen anyone suggest any.
Yeah, me neither. Like any sort of live stream that pertains to music that isn't someone streaming music, it's metal. Because we have ours, the United Rebel Alliance. They used to do it, and it sucks they don't do it anymore. Brain Smasher, Eric Bauer, and Marty Worm, they had their live stream. And that was like the greatest thing for me because all three of them are so filled with knowledge, just like Lonnie. So it was always super cool when they went live to watch their stream. But they don't do that anymore. Metal Theologian, he does a live stream now and then. He just does it by himself, though. But yeah, I mean, like, even though 3 obviously isn't a whole lot, you know, that's still 3 more than like we could find for any pop or rap, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, if anyone in the chat or in the future watching this video knows of any, feel free to send me a link, because that'd be interesting to see what they talk about, or how like-minded they are, or how like they interact with each other. But anything like that yet, I haven't seen anyone talk about any streams that involve multiple pop related channels or multiple country related channels. The only other channels that do streams with like-minded individuals are like the horror movie community.
Yeah.
The horror movie community is kind of similar to metal in that vein, where they're into the extreme. They're into the stuff that a lot of people aren't really into, and they share their love for horror movies and like thrillers and like supernatural, ghost or werewolf or vampire kind of stuff, or like the old black and white classics. I see those more too, but yeah, I don't see any like mainstream stuff or a bunch of channels getting together, except for like maybe gaming. So yeah, that's like, it's like metal, horror stuff, or like gaming channels that stream together. But well, any last things you guys want to talk about involving how metal has influenced you? Because I don't really have too much to talk about, and I do gotta go help the wife with the kids and stuff like that. So,
I don't know. Other than that, just being a more creative person, obviously. As far as honing in on good thing about metal and everything that you have no topic is taboo pretty much, so you could technically when you hear it from someone, it's pretty cool. Unlike when you're in school, you have that whole authoritism thing going on with your parents as well. It's not like when you hear it from a friend. It's kind of like that, at least to me. And as far as politics and how the world really works and shit like that, I get everything I need from metal. So yeah, as far as how I became a metal, or how metal has changed or formed me, I guess it would be in that, just grabbing little things here and there, and the way I go about it, about my life and what I believe in. It's based on things that I picked up from metal. So yeah, pretty much that, and how I treat everybody else. So yeah.
I got a couple things I want to add. First, despite the fact that Green Day is the reason I started playing guitar, bass, piano, and drums, the whole band basically. Bass in particular, it was not until I had started listening to Motley Crue that I really started getting into bass. I don't know why, because Mick Mars is such an underrated guitarist, and since I've always loved guitar more than bass, I probably should have gravitated more towards him. But with The Dirt, the movie having come out on March 22nd, I've watched that movie like 4 or 5 times, and I haven't really been playing bass the last couple of years. I've mostly been trying to fine tune my guitar playing. And ever since I've watched the movie, that really like reignited my love for playing bass. I don't know what Nikki Sixx and Motley Crue did to really get me into bass playing, especially since Nikki wasn't the greatest bass player on their first few Motley Crue albums. But I don't know. Ever since seeing that movie, it's like even though I know I'm playing some of the songs wrong, you know, I'll pop some Motley Crue songs on the on YouTube, and I'll just play bass to them, and then, you know, just like I've been doing with guitar, I've been like trying to fine tune my my bass playing skills, because obviously playing bass and playing guitar, it's not the same thing. Even though a lot of people who don't know what they're talking about think it is. So there's that. And then the last thing, I saw a comment in the chat from a guy named Stefan Goldberg. He posted a couple comments. It said, in school, he feels like he's the only one that listens to metal, and no one seems to recognize what band shirts he's wearing, and he feels like an outcast all the time. To you, my man, I say I felt the same way, because even though I did have a couple of friends that listened to metal, they only listen to mainstream metal. So, you know, I'd go to school wearing a what shirts I could wear. I would go to school wearing a Cannibal Corpse shirt, or some other metal shirt that I was allowed to wear without being sent home for a dress code violation. And you know, just own it, man. Don't let the idea of being an outcast be a negative thing. Because if it becomes a negative thing, then you're not going to like it, which in turn may make you not like metal music as much, which would really be a shame. So just own up to it. You know, if someone asks what band shirt you have on, just tell them. You know, hopefully some people in school, I know it's difficult, but hopefully some people will be open-minded and maybe listen to that artist. But yeah, the big thing for me is just like, don't let that outcast title be a negative thing. Own it, make it yours, be the one that stands out. Don't fall into the normality of anyone else, of everyone else.
Yeah, man. Don't be afraid to be a fucking rebel. Wear that uniqueness on your chest like a badge of honor, and just be like, yeah, like the rest of you pawns, going about my life the way everyone else wants me to go about, another sheep blindly following the herd. I'm proud that I have my own voice. I'm proud that I'm able to think for myself, and I'm proud that I have the balls to say this is what I like, whether it's accepted or not. But yeah, on that note, thank you everyone for watching this 22nd episode of Sinister Sunday. Thank you so much, Lonnie, Classy Lonnie, for giving us the years of your time and awesome videos and countless bands that we're now going to go and recheck and see if we know them. Cheers to Classy Lonnie once again for everything he's brought to the metal community, and thanks for everything he has shown us, band wise, label wise, channel wise. And thanks to all of you guys watching. It really makes a difference. It makes what we do worth it, because without you guys watching this right now and you guys in the chat right now, our channels would be nothing. We would be talking to a camera and letting it kind of drift off into cyberspace without any meaning. The fact that you guys are here watching, sharing your opinions on this means the world to us. It just goes to show what unique quality metal has, and what kind of a community there really is out there, whether you're whether you're male, whether you're female, whether you're black, white, or in between, whether you're straight, whether you're, whatever sexuality you might be, we're all, brothers and sisters out there with kind of the same enjoyment for music, and we are all, very kind of open-minded, uh, rebellious in nature, strong-willed individuals, and no one's going to tell us any different, and that's what matters the most. Don't be afraid to be, the black sheep. Don't be afraid to have your own opinions. Don't be afraid to be unique and an individual in the sea of sheep and pawns out there. So thank you to Trez from Total Metal Rejection. Thank you to Matt from the Green Iron Cannibal. And thank you to Azeg from Azeg's Abyss for joining me on this lovely Sunday and talking about the thing that we love the most, metal. That's it for this Sinister Sunday. I hope you guys have an awesome night and keep metal alive, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.